Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome to the Algarve International Circuit for 20 minutes of fixed GT3 racing, and I'm going to warn you from the outset, this one gets a bit heated and I am up against it from the very beginning. We're underway then as we barrel down the long straight here at Portimao and get ready for T1, and I am braced for incidents here, and already up ahead one driver is off to the left hand side. Thankfully I've got a little bit of space down my inside. Everyone else appears to have gotten through cleanly. Once again then into another braking zone here as the track tightens very significantly side by side. Then a couple of cars up ahead. I think I've got a car on my outside still, and yes, we've come together. Very small bit of contact and they've ended up spinning around. Oh no, it's all gone a bit wrong in the early stages here, and as we get ready for the next tight left-hander, another driver is off to the right-hand side. That's Dave Irwin. He's going to drop all the way to the back of the field. Somehow I'm still pointing in the right direction and have gotten through cleanly. I've climbed from P14 to P10, and that was about to get better still as another driver, the Porsche there, off to the left hand side, is spun it around, and as we come down the hill then, this section of undulating long corners, really challenging to race I've found so far this week. We're up into P9, make that P8 as we've had another coming together. Driver side by side, Marco Russo paying a big price there, spins his car off to the left hand side. Somehow I've gained 6 positions on this opening lap. One of them of course came via contact with another driver. We'll definitely take a look back at that to just understand how that all played out. But we're rounding the penultimate corner here. Again, another tricky corner, especially on cold tyres, to get the car rotated, feather the throttle through the very last corner, capture maximum speed to get onto the start-finish straight once again without understeering wide, and we're going to complete our opening lap, and extraordinarily we're well into the top 10. But now let's review that series of incidents on lap 1, starting with Anyanwu, who didn't even make it to T1. Unfortunately, contact with another car ended up with him in the gravel. Then just a couple of corners later, I came together with Junior. Now, who was responsible here, or was it a racing incident? Well, I've got to say, looking at this footage, I think I was just drifting out from my line slightly. He was turning in, following the racing line. I don't know, you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think about this incident. I think it was probably a racing incident, but I am sorry that we came together, and in the end his race was significantly undermined. Just a little while later, Dave Irwin would be 3 wide heading into the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. That's never going to work out. And then in the middle of the lap, Notanakola would find himself off track and then nudged around into a spin as he rejoined. And then finally, Marco Russo would also come a cropper in one of these long right-handers. Tiny bit of contact with the driver on his inside, enough to unsettle his car, and he spun out. On to lap 4 then, and we are chasing Adriano Paredes up ahead. We have settled into a very good rhythm here, and I'm actually punching in lap times quicker than I went in qualifying, quite substantially quicker. I feel like the track is coming towards me. Certainly, tyre temperatures, brake temperatures are where I need them to be. They're in a sweet spot. I'm feeling more confident in the car, and as a result, I am closing in on the driver up ahead. And we've broken away a little bit from João Oliveira behind the gap there, around 1.8 seconds. And you can just see, as we're coming through some of these corners, I'm managing to hook the car up very nicely. I'm half a second, more than half a second, up on my Delta. Provisional lap time down in the mid 144s. I'm hoping I can keep this lap hung together, keep the pressure on Paredes up ahead, and maybe position myself for an overtake into one of the big braking zones on this circuit. Quite a lot will depend on the exit from the final couple of corners that we're entering into here, because then you've got the long straightaway to begin the next lap. If I can get into his slipstream, if I can challenge down into the first complex of corners, then maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to get up into P7. It looks like the drivers further up the road, they've got more pace today, but if I can get up into the top 7, that will represent a really good result from this session. We're forward again then, on to lap 6, and again the gap has come down just a little bit. There's a summary of my lap times from the first half of this race. Yes, we're a second off the ultimate quickest speed in this race, but this is pretty good speed for me in the context of a track that honestly I haven't really gelled with previously. But look at this, we are right underneath the rear wing of Paredes up ahead now. Then can I maintain that through this long right-hander, not wash out because of the turbulent air from the driver up ahead? Yes, it looks as if I can. I'm just 0.2 seconds behind as we cross the start finish line. I'm gaining. I'm going to give him something to think about into T1, but not really going to be close enough to challenge. And as it turns out, Paredes was wise to it. He didn't overreact. He didn't go long in the braking zone. I'm going to have to settle in behind him once again, see if we can't make a little bit more progress through this next lap. We're into the final third of this session now, so I'm going to have to get a move on here if I don't want to be held up. Jesus Martin is now the driver behind. He's got very good speed. Oh, look at that, up ahead, Paredes. He's gone deep into the corner. Nearly an opportunity there to get all the way alongside. He's been able just to hold on to the position, but maybe that's a sign that the pressure is getting to Paredes up ahead now. Can I force home this advantage and make the pass on this lap? I'm going to need to, because at this point I'm now being held up. You can see I'm half a second down on my best lap delta, and Jesus Martin behind is closing in rapidly as again we're on the brakes, closing right up to the rear bumper of Paredes there. I've lost another couple of tenths through that corner. It's now going to get quite urgent to make my way through. Can I remain close enough to Paredes through this final section of the lap and get ready to mount an overtake at the beginning of lap 8? Well, let's find out as he's on the brakes, dabbing them through the middle of the corner there. I'm trying to get a better slingshot out of the corner. I don't think I've managed it. Can I carry more speed then through this final corner and hopefully begin closing in again? Well, if anything, I'm slightly further back than I was on the previous lap. That's a bit disappointing, but I'm hopefully still in a slipstream. Yes, I am. The gap, 0.2 seconds. There's no way I'm going to be close enough to mount a dive bomb down the inside, but nevertheless, Paredes has cracked. He's ran wide through T1. I'm going to have to keep this very narrow, but avoid the big bump on the curb on the inside, get the car slowed down, and I have made up the position. I'm up into P7. Wow, eventually, after lap after lap after lap of chasing the BMW, I've been able to squeeze past. I just got the car tight to the apex there without hitting that big sausage curb on the inside. That was enough to carry the momentum through, and I'm up into P7. And look at Jesus Martin immediately challenging Paredes there. And it wouldn't be long before Paredes made another mistake, just getting a slight slide on at the top of the hill. That's allowed Jesus Martin through, and now I'm going to be coming under pressure from him. But it would be another driver, Guglielmetti, further up the road, who would make the next mistake. He's lost the car, coming into the right-hander there, and he loses it again when trying to recover to the track. We hop back into my cockpit live on lap 10, and there he is rejoining off to the left-hand side. That has promoted me up into P6. I am coming under big pressure from Jesus Martin behind, and we're going to pop up the TV camera so you can see that from his perspective on board through the remainder of this lap. He is closing in at a rate of knots. He's got more confidence in the car, and I don't know whether it's tyre temperatures that are affecting me here, or whether psychologically I'm just beginning to lose my grip on this position and making some small mistakes that are adding up over the course of the lap. I know now, looking at the delta, that he is going to have a very good chance of challenging me into T1 here. I need to get a good run through this final corner, but he's going to benefit from the slipstream all the way down this long start-finish straight. I'm braced for a move down the inside. Is he going to be close enough? Will he take the gamble? Well, let's find out as we're into the braking zone here. He closes right in. He does stick his nose in towards the apex, but not all the way alongside. I give him enough space, but I carry enough speed to hold the position. But now he's gone for it down the inside, but he's outbraked himself, and I'm able to just get back up the inside, hold on to the position. But wow, that was a big pressure moment, and thankfully I just about held on. Fair play to Jesus Martin. He could have careered into my right rear corner there. He didn't. He then tried to execute the pass into the right-hander, but he overcooked it. That gave me a chance to just get back up underneath him, and in the end hold on to P6 for now. And that then is how we'd enter the final lap of this race. Again, we've popped up the onboard camera from Jesus Martin to just see how close he is behind us. And now it's going to be a big test of concentration, of composure, to try and keep him behind. Not an easy circuit to overtake here, but it is a very easy circuit to make a mistake on. And I've got to say, I found the first half of this race, where I was the hunter, much more comfortable and enjoyable than the second half of this race, where I've been hunted. Jesus Martin once again then on corner exit, closing right in. You can see my pace has dropped off here. Again, I don't know whether that's tyre temperature related or whether it is just the pressure of being the lead driver and coming under such scrutiny from behind. I'm wide on the apex once again. That gives another tenth of a second to Jesus Martin, but he is running out of time. He's going to have to do something decisive if he's going to get up into P6. And look at that, he's gone in very long at the top of the hill. He has to take to the off track there, and he's lost the position. He's actually fallen one spot further back. I don't think I was too early on the brakes there. I was taking my normal line. He was clearly pressing very, very hard, and in the end, it's cost him. He hasn't gone up into P6. He's actually shuffled back into P8. All I have to do now is keep the car safe round the final corner of this lap, and I'm going to bring home an improbable P6. But wow, lots of incidents in this one, lots of tough racing, and we've managed to survive it, and we're going to come home P6, gaining 8 spots through the course of this race. I did not have the most pace at this combination this week, but I brought home a very decent result, and I'm pretty happy with that. I still regret that opening lap incident with Junior. That was a bit of a disappointment at the beginning of this race, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with how I handled those on-track battles. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, leave a like, get subscribed for more, and I will see you on the next one.